How's it going, guys? Welcome back to Created in His Image channel. Created in His Image channel, sorry. Thanks for joining me again this week. Sorry for the late video. Let's go ahead and dive right into it. I know we talked last week about something that kind of, bothered me in the Bible reading, especially through Numbers and Deuteronomy. God asks Moses to completely eradicate some kingdoms, the cities, men, women, and children. And I always been like, hey, that's kind of messed up, right? But I did a lot of research, and I did a lot of research in the past, and I did a lot of reading today, and I learned a lot of new stuff today just reading it, and it actually blew my mind. I'm excited to kind of talk about it. But let's get into it. We'd established last week, you gotta read the whole Bible to get the picture. So you have to look at other chapters to answer stuff that you've just read, because the answers are never just right in front of you. So let's talk about Moses in Numbers and Deuteronomy. We all know the story. Moses and Israel, God wanted to get them in the promised land, but Moses never got to see it. Eventually he did, but twice God tried to get Moses and his people in the promised land, and the people did not want to do it. I always remember learning that the people didn't want to go because they were bad, and they were whiners, and they made idols and stuff. But it's a lot deeper than that. And let's go ahead and dive into it. So if you go to Numbers 13, 30 through 33. And it talks about, let's see. So this is the first time God had Moses send spies to check out the promised land for the people. And it's the first time they said, no, we're not going in there. Let me tell you why. So let's go to, this is called the Report of the Spies in chapter 13 of Numbers. And let's see. So it says, chapter 30, but Caleb quieted the people before Moses and said, let us go up at once and occupy it, for we are well able to overcome it. Then the men who had gone up with him and said, we are not able to go up against the people, for they are stronger than we are. So they brought out the people of Israel and a bad report of the land that they had spied out, saying, the land through which we have gone to spy it out is the land that devours its inhabitants, and all the people that we saw in it are of great height. And there we saw the Nephilim, there's the giants again, the sons of Anak, who came from the Nephilim. And we seemed to ourselves like grasshoppers, as so we seemed to them. All right, so that's the first time they're not going in there because of giants. Okay, this pissed God off. So Moses actually had to intercede, if you read later into the next chapter 14, to cover the Israelites' asses, because Moses had to save them. Okay, so you can read that part for yourself. So let's bounce to Deuteronomy 1, 19 through 33. This is the second time they sent spies, and they're like, hell no, I ain't going in there. So let's see. Deuteronomy, 1, 19 through 33. So Israel, the name of this section is Israel's refusal to enter the land. So it says, then all you come near. This part, God giving the orders what they need to do. Then all you came near to me and said, let us men before us say that may explore the land of us and bring us word again by which we must go up in the cities into which we shall come. So they sent 12 dudes, okay? This is what they saw again. This is 26, Deuteronomy 1, verse 26. Yeah, you should not go up, but be but rebelled against the command of the Lord your God, And you murmured in your tents and said, because the Lord hated us, he has brought us out of the land of Egypt to give us to the hands of the Amorites. There's that name again, to destroy us, where we are going up. Our brothers have made our hearts melt, saying, the people are greater and taller than we are, and the cities are great and fortified up to heaven. And besides, we have seen the sons of Anakim there. They don't want to go see the giants. They don't want to fight them. So God's mad again, right? So they have to be this is when they go into the wilderness. They're wandering, okay, for a long time. But God says, you know what? I'm going to make them face giants anyway. So some of the lands they have to pass through, they have to fight giants, kingdoms twice, okay? Let's go to Deuteronomy 2, verse 28, okay? Alrighty. So, they have to pass through lands, and one of the lands they have to pass through is the land of King Sihon. Sihon, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, whatever. God hardens his heart and makes Israel fight them. Okay? So nowhere in here does it say King Sihon's a giant until Deuteronomy chapter 3. But this is where God gives an order to kill men, women, and children. So, where's it at? It says, and we captured all his cities at the time and devoted to destruction every city, men, women, and children. We left no survivors. So they beat King Sihon, okay? This is where it tells you that King Sihon's a giant, and so is the next king that they're fighting right now, the defeat of King Og. So, this is chapter 3 of Deuteronomy. Then we turned and went up the way to Bashan, and King Og of Bashan came out against us. Okay? He and all his people to battle at Edrei. But the Lord said to me, do not fear, for I have given him and all his people and his land into your hand, and you shall do to him as you did to Sihon, the king of the Amorites. So, Amorites, so King Sihon was a king of the Amorites, also a tribe of giants. So if you bounce to the New Testament in Amos, Amos chapter 2 verse 9, it talks about, the name of the passage is Judgment of Israel, but it's talking about what happened. Yet it was I who destroyed the Amorites before them, whose height was like the height of cedars, and who was as strong as the oaks. I destroyed his fruit above and his roots beneath. He's describing the Amorites. They were giants, okay? So it also it describes King Og. It even talks about his bed, how big it is. He was so big, I guess. And we devoted, if you go down to Deuteronomy 3:11, it says, for only Og, the king of Bashan, was left of the remnant of the Rephaim. Behold, his bed was a bed of iron. It is not in Rabbah of the Ammonites. 9 cubits was its length, and 4 cubits its breadth, according to the common cubit. So I've looked it up before. I forgot the actual length. I'll put it in the next video, but it's a pretty big bed. Also, some of the land that was distributed from King Og, it was called the land of Rephaim. So it was known they were in these lands. So we've established that King Og was a giant. So I was talking about how why is God saying, actually, first of all, holy crap, I didn't know that Israel didn't go into the promised land literally because of giants. They were terrified of them, and they were ruling the land, obviously. That actually blew my mind. I must have looked over that all the time, and no one ever talked about that in church or when I was going to school, in high school and stuff. But that blew my mind that literally they did not go into the land because of giants. That's what was holding back the promised land. Okay, um, so I was talking about how the God gave him the order to destroy the men, women, and children in the entire cities, and I was always like, that's messed up. But then you dig more. I'm not saying regular or normal people weren't killed in part of this because the land was huge, but most of the time when he gave the order, when it says when he gave those orders, it was the kingdoms were giants. So I think with the Bible, it's saying it right there. So it's just saying it. God had Israel go through these lands, not just because it was the promised land, but to eradicate these unsanctioned bloodlines of Nephilim. Remember, Nephilim, we learned that they are from fallen angels, so they're half man, half divine being, unsanctioned by God. So this is abomination to God. So I believe the reason he was having them eradicate these entire kingdoms was because they were tribes of giants which were unsanctioned or altered, whatever you want to call it, genetic abominations to God. Okay, that's why he was wanting to eradicate them, and that made me look at these chapters way different. It actually really blew my mind. Yeah, pretty crazy stuff. And we learn with Jacob and Samuel later, there's still giants that they have to fight, and we'll get into that later. But I just wanted to show you again that you can't just read part of the Bible and not understand names, tribes, regions. You have to learn it all, or you won't fully get the picture like we did right here. It's just, it blows my mind every day. The more I read the Bible, I'm learning more and more. I encourage you to do the same. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you go back and actually read the verses for yourself and see what you get from it. Maybe you get something different. I don't know, but this is what I'm getting, and I think it's really cool stuff. And I hope you guys are enjoying it. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll see y'all next week.